It's impossible. It's impossible. Yeah, it's impossible. I'm possible. It's impossible. It's impossible. Yeah, it's impossible. I'm possible.
I've always been fascinated by rap music. So I thought, geez, what if, I was going to do a Bermudian rap?
It's impossible. It's impossible. Yeah, I'm possible. It's possible for me to tame my vision.
Look at that. That's that man Tom Sawyer right here. Getting some good rubs. Look at that. Look at Tom. Yeah.
He's like, is that my reflection?
Yeah, he's not even speaking.
Alright, so in itself, you look at these blocks on the wall, right? You see all these different blocks, right? So what if I explain it as saying we in this block right here, right? The thing about it is, like in life, we are taught and we learn about so many different things that take us further from the truth of who we are. The truth of the value that we can bring, the truth of the value we already have from birth and everything, we are taken away from it. So we are in a paradigm, we in a box, boom, we in that box. And as you're growing within that box, at first you're a kid. So when you're a kid, you are not stuck in none of these boxes for the most part, because you believe so much in everything. Your imagination is vivid. If somebody said the earth was a basketball, you be like, for real? If somebody said the earth was a Frisbee, you be like, word, how? Like, you wouldn't just disregard any idea. You're always open as a kid. But as we get older, we begin to form these boxes that we go through. And a lot of that times it happens because of the environment we in, the people that we talk to, the experiences that we have, and society begins to try to cage us in to believe only what we see on TV, only what we find that is relevant, what we see on the news. So this is why a lot of people live in fear. A lot of people have things that they're scared of that really don't make sense. People don't strive to be as great as they want to be and create because they have forgotten that they can create. You know what I mean? It's all a matter of perspective. So as you get older, say for instance, I was a football player. One of the boxes that we get put in is, hey, you're a jock. All you do is lift weights and play football. You're not that smart. You should never talk about politics. You're not an artist. Whatever it is, you don't do nothing but play football and run up and down the field. And you can choose to be in that box if you want to. But then you, again, as you get in your box, you limit yourself from the many different things you can do. So I might be a football player here, but in the next box, I realize I'm an artist. And in the next box, I realize I can put in work. Next box, I want to get money, whatever it is. And my frame of mind goes around what I know about in those areas. So if I know about getting money, and the only thing I know is, man, I can go sell drugs or something like that because that's what my family did. That's the box that I'm in. Instead of realizing, hey, I can create. I can make things and sell things. I can give my time for free and end up getting money back. Like, you're not thinking about those aspects of life. And that's what happens. We get put in the box and we get in the paradigm, and it's up to us to either break it or we're just going to keep jumping to each paradigm until we move on to another thing. And that goes back to our conversation earlier when I was like, my sensei said, you got to do something to shock the system.
Yeah.
So for me, it's to shock the system so I can get rid of one of these paradigms and not necessarily move to another one, but the goal is to break it all in itself and get back to that place where I know I can create, I can do, and I can make things happen the way I want them to do or want it to be. So right now, my thing is for today or this week is simply be, do. That's it. Nothing else. No extra words. No extra categories, none of that. Simply be and simply do.
Holland Gardens Park, bikes parked on the ground. Permanent markers mark the stumping ground, leaving permanent marks on marks that stump around like they own the streets. No heart to hearts, can't talk us down. Taught to never lose heart, their hearts and lost and found. Hearts of stone cross my heart by heart. I jot it down till dark. Revenge is bittersweet, opera sounds the heart.